Some of the biggest questions that has ever occurred about money are: who prints the money, and how much can they print? Secondly, if money isn't backed by gold or any other resource, then why shouldn't I print my own money? Thirdly, if the government is printing money and putting it into circulation, then to whom is the government giving the printed money to? If the government is printing money backed by nothing, then why doesn't the government just give me the printed money directly? And finally, when the government can print unlimited money, then why can't the government print more money and solve problems like poverty and hunger? Let's find out in this video, presented by Highbrow Talks. Let's understand what money is. Money is a medium of exchange that is used to facilitate transactions between two parties. Money is typically a form of currency, such as coins or paper bills, that is accepted as a form of payment for goods and services. Money is also used as a store of value, meaning that it can be used to purchase goods and services in the future. So, who is printing the money? The Federal Reserve began printing money in 1913, when the Federal Reserve Act was passed. This act established the Federal Reserve System, which is the central banking system of the United States. The Federal Reserve is responsible for printing money and controlling the money supply. The next big question is, what is money backed by? Money is backed by the full faith and credit of the government that issues it. In the United States, money is backed by the U.S. government, which is why it is considered as a safe and reliable form of currency. Money is also backed by the goods and services that it can purchase, as well as the trust that people have in the government that issues it. To sum it up, it's backed by nothing. Moving on to the next question, what happens to the money that's printed? The money that is printed by the Federal Reserve is used to purchase government securities, such as treasury bonds, from the public. This helps to increase the money supply and stimulate the economy. The money that is printed is also used to pay for government expenses, such as Social Security and Medicare. The money that is printed is also used to pay interest on the national debt. So, what exactly are treasury bonds? Treasury bonds, also known as T-bonds or U.S. Treasury bonds, are a type of debt security issued by the U.S. Department of the Treasury. They are considered one of the safest investments available, as they are backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. When an investor buys a treasury bond, they are essentially loaning money to the U.S. government. In return, the government pays the investor interest on the bond at a fixed rate for a set period of time, which can range from 10 to 30 years. At the end of the bond's term, the government repays the full principal amount of the bond to the investor. So the bigger question is, was the money ever printed backed by gold? And the answer to that is, yes. In the past, some countries, including the United States, backed their paper currency with gold, a system known as the gold standard. Under the gold standard, the value of a country's currency was directly tied to the amount of gold it held in reserve. This meant that paper currency could be exchanged for a fixed amount of gold at any time, which helped to maintain the stability and value of the currency. In the United States, the gold standard was in effect from the late 1800s until the 1930s, when the country went off the gold standard in order to combat the Great Depression. The U.S. government continued to allow private ownership of gold, but it no longer guaranteed that paper currency could be exchanged for gold. In 1971, the U.S. officially ended its ties to the gold standard, and since then, the value of the U.S. dollar and other currencies has been based on factors such as supply and demand, interest rates, and government policy, rather than being directly tied to the value of gold. If the Fed started printing money in 1913, and if the Gold Act started in the 1800s, then doesn't that mean the money was printed before 1913? If it wasn't for the Federal Reserve, it's evident that someone else was in fact printing back then.
What is it that you're worried that we're going to find out?
Moving on, how much gold is held by public in the USA? According to the World Gold Council, the United States holds approximately 8,133.5 tons. This is the largest amount of gold held by any country in the world. The majority of this gold is held by the Federal Reserve, with the rest held by private citizens, banks, and other institutions. So if money is not backed by anything, then why shouldn't I print my own money? Printing your own money is illegal and can have serious consequences. Here are some reasons why you shouldn't print your own money. 1. It is illegal. Counterfeiting or printing your own money is a criminal offense. The government has a monopoly on creating legal currency, and any attempt to create your own currency is considered a federal crime. 2. It devalues the currency. When you print your own money, you are essentially creating more currency without any real value to back it up. This can lead to inflation, as the value of the currency decreases, and the cost of goods and services goes up. 3. It can damage the economy. If everyone started printing their own money, the value of the currency would rapidly decrease, leading to a decrease in purchasing power and a decline in economic stability. 4. It is unethical. Printing your own money is a form of fraud, and it is unethical to use fake currency to deceive others. In summary, printing your own money is illegal, devalues the currency, can damage the economy, and is unethical. It is not a viable or legal solution to financial problems. If the government is printing money, then why can't the Federal Reserve give the printed money directly to me? The answer to this question is, the Federal Reserve is responsible for managing the nation's monetary policy, including regulating the money supply and setting interest rates. While the Fed can create new money through the process of open market operations, it cannot simply give this money directly to individuals or businesses. Here are some reasons why the Fed cannot give printed money directly to individuals. 1. The Fed's role is to manage the economy. The primary role of the Federal Reserve is to manage the nation's economy, not to distribute money directly to individuals. Its policies and actions are focused on promoting economic stability, controlling inflation, and maintaining a stable financial system. 2. It would not be fair. Giving printed money directly to individuals would not be fair to others who did not receive it. It could also create incentives for people to engage in risky or illegal behavior in order to obtain more money. 3. It could lead to inflation. If the Fed were to give printed money directly to individuals, it could lead to an increase in demand for goods and services, which could drive up prices and cause inflation. 4. It is not within the Fed's legal authority. The Federal Reserve is prohibited by law from engaging in direct fiscal policy, such as distributing money directly to individuals. So, the next intriguing question is, how to find out when the Fed is printing money? The Federal Reserve publishes a monthly report called the Beige Book, which provides information on economic activity in the United States. This report includes information on the amount of money that the Federal Reserve is printing. Additionally, the Federal Reserve also publishes a weekly report called the H41, which provides information on the amount of money that is in circulation. And finally, why can't the Fed print more money and solve poverty and hunger? The Federal Reserve cannot simply print more money to solve poverty and hunger. Doing so would cause inflation, which would make the money worth less and make it harder for people to afford basic necessities. Additionally, printing more money would not address the underlying causes of poverty and hunger, such as lack of access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. So, what do you guys think is happening with money? What should the government do to eradicate poverty and hunger? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching.